Thanks for joining us from the Ohio AgNet, voice you know with the news you trust studio, sponsored by Grain Equipment Company, where innovation meets execution. I'm Dusty Sonnenberg. Well, it's breezy outside right now, 71 degrees on the barn thermometer, and it looks like rain may be moving in the next hour or so. On and off scattered precipitation throughout the afternoon hours, but then dry again for Friday. A couple quick calendar reminders and program updates. Tune in on Monday as Dale will be visiting with the folks from the Ohio Corn and Wheat Growers Association. You can get an update there. Also on Tuesday, we'll hear from Farm Credit Mid-America about the importance of year-end planning. Taking a look at your agricultural headlines, following a gap lower to begin trading on Monday, the crude oil market has failed to bounce back enough to fill that back in as of yesterday morning. Monday's losses of nearly $5 a barrel at one point were the result of a market interpretation that risk from the Middle East tensions declined with the targeting retaliatory attack by Israel against Iran. Now, all energy infrastructure was spared, and this market assumed it marked an end to this tit-for-tat round. Grain and oilseed markets came under pressure because of their energy components, particularly the vegetable oils. Prices have rebounded somewhat, but gaps lower have yet to be filled in soybean oil along with crude oil. In general, gaps mean little as long as they can be filled in within a few days, but if not, then they take a more serious role. A breakaway gap lower would be this case. It's worth noting that the longer time goes by without a serious downdraft, the less likely it is a breakaway gap, and the more likely its traders will have the confidence to buy, and more likely it will be filled. That said, given the implications, further analysis should be justified. Now, a brief history lesson on crude oil pricing is insightful. The Russian invasion of the Ukraine in February of 2022 resulted in a spiked high of $130.59 a barrel. Following a brief pullback, prices rose back to $123.68 per barrel by June of 22 as democratic nations tried to punish Russia by attempting to restrict their energy export. Now, the Biden administration has tried to encourage various countries to increase production to offset the lost Russian exports. There was little to show, though, for those efforts. The United States then turned to the U.S. Strategic Petroleum Reserves to help reduce the pain at the pump. While doing that, it could be increasing the domestic U.S. production, and this is very important now because the SPR was established in 1977 to provide a supply cushion of crude oil in case of emergency. At its highest, there was 726 million barrels in December of 2009. At its lowest, it was at 347 million barrels. That was set in June of 2023, just under half of the peak inventory. And with the 375 million barrels as of July of 24, the U.S. was at risk of a price spike in the event of a real emergency, like an all-out war in the Middle East, for example. So it also helps to understand why the White House was reportedly trying hard to convince Israel to avoid escalation or attacks on any energy infrastructure. The Strategic Petroleum Reserve history also helps us understand the recent price range in crude oil and the limited long-term impact on related markets. Facing mounting pressure that the drawdown was leaving the U.S. vulnerable, the Biden administration pledged to make purchases to replenish the Strategic Petroleum Reserve supplies when prices neared $70 per barrel, the suggested floor price, and that helps explain why most of the last 18 months we've seen prices trade within that $70 to $85 per barrel range. Well, let's get an update on that weather forecast brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com.
Got some moisture trying to work across Ohio here this afternoon. I'm Chief Meteorologist Ryan Martin. Let's take a look at that forecast update. Quick update here in Ohio. Scattered showers this afternoon through this evening. I think they should be done by shortly after daybreak tomorrow. We're on our way to a dry finish to the week then for Friday afternoon. Saturday is dry. Sunday, we have moisture coming back again afternoon and evening, right on through Monday, Tuesday, and early Wednesday of next week. That batch of moisture can be anywhere from 1/2 to 2 inches of rain. Nearby here today, 1/4 to 3/4. I'm meteorologist Ryan Martin.
Thanks, Ryan. Stay tuned. We'll be back to take a look at your markets after this.
In any year, your best harvest is only a few upgrades away. Seed Consultants exclusively serves the Eastern Corn Belt, combining our deep knowledge of local conditions with high-performing products fit for your acres. Most importantly, our customized services put our products and your business in a position to succeed. We help you start with better to grow your best. Visit seedconsultants.com to learn why our products and services are simply better.
Let's get an analysis on today's markets from Leist Mercantile. This update brought to us by Brandt, helping growers take control for over 70 years.
This morning, the USDA released their export sales data for week ending October 24th. Industry estimates were quite wide this week, and we saw corn come in on the higher end of those estimates, while soy and wheat came in right at the middle of estimates. To now meet the USDA's targets for exports, we need weekly export sales of 748.2 thousand metric tons of corn, 542.1 thousand metric tons of soy, and 201.5 thousand metric tons of wheat.
Thanks, Ryan. Let's take a quick check of those markets brought to us by Seed Consultants. Simply better performance online at seedconsultants.com. December corn is trading down a quarter penny at $4.11 1/4. November soybeans up 3 1/4 cents at $9.79 3/4, and wheat for December down 8 1/2 cents at $5.64 3/4. Thanks for joining us. Have a great day. You're listening to the Ohio AgNet.